Hello everyone, I'm Brian from WorkshopAddict.com. Per your request, we are putting the Ryobi 20-inch 40-volt self-propelled mower up against the EGO 21-inch 56-volt self-propelled mower. These two mowers have a lot in common, so we'll go over the specs that they share. We'll go over a little bit of how they differ. We'll go through some runtime testing we did, go through the power that each mower has, and then at the end we'll talk about the build quality and how we feel each mower applies to different people. At the time we made this video, the Ryobi 20-inch mower with a 5.0 amp hour battery and a charger is currently selling for $399. The EGO 21-inch self-propelled mower with a 7.5 amp hour battery and quick charger is selling for $549. Now during our test, we evened the playing field and used one of our EGO 5.0 amp hour batteries that we had from another tool so that you could compare runtime on a even amp hour basis. Now both these mowers are very similar. They both will fold up for easy storage. They both have handles that adjust for different heights and comfort. They both have LED lights, and each of them have a single height adjustment for the mower. The difference in the Ryobi is it's a 7 position from 1.5 inches to 3 3/4 inches, where the EGO is a 6 position from 1.5 inches up to 4 inches. They both will bag or mulch, and they both have plastic decks and plastic wheels. While there is some slight ergonomic differences between the Ryobi self-propulsion system and the EGO self-propulsion system, they both have their own way of setting the pace so you can adjust the speed of the self-propulsion system. When the self-propulsion system is not used, they both will push just as easy as any non-self-propelled mower. But the meat and potatoes of this review is not to deal with the self-propulsion system. Both of them are comfortable. It's going to deal with runtime and charge time, and that's where these two differ. Now I just want to say again, we downgraded the EGO battery to a 5.0 amp hour battery to give you a fair comparison between the two mowers. If you were to purchase the EGO in a kit, it would come with a 7.5 amp hour battery and far surpass the specs that we are going to tell you. So to start out, our runtime test was a simple, how much grass can we cut in an open lot on one battery charge with a normal amount of grass. And the Ryobi did about 1/4 acre with about a runtime of 20 to 23 minutes. The EGO did a full 1/2 acre plus with a runtime of about 45 to maybe 48 minutes. With that said, these two mowers rocked that test. They did good. We came back, we threw the batteries on the charger. The EGO battery, 5.0 amp hour battery, took 45 minutes to charge. The Ryobi 5.0 amp hour battery was overheated at that point. It took 45 minutes to cool down until it would start to charge, and then it took 3 more hours to charge. So that slowed down our testing a little bit. We went back out into some taller grass to give it a little bit of a power test. At that point, the EGO was able to, and we're going to put this in swipes across this lot. We did 41 cuts across a lot that's approximately 125 feet deep. That was on one charge. Now we came back with the Ryobi and we were able to get 14 swipes or 14 cuts down that same exact lot, same grass. So there is a significant difference in runtime between these two units. So in our testing, I have to go back a little bit to the charge time because that was a hindrance not only when we reviewed just the Ryobi mower, but while we're doing the testing between the two, because it really slows you down when you have to wait 3 to 4 hours for a battery to charge. The EGO is 45 minutes. If you had 2 batteries, you could be mowing continuously, where even if you had 2 batteries with the Ryobi, you're going to be able to mow for about 40 minutes and then still have to take a break for approximately 3 hours. So there is a big difference there. Now in power, there is also a significant difference because the Ryobi is only able to fill about half of the bag when you are bagging until it plugs up. The EGO comes with a 2-bushel bag, and it is able to fill that bag completely before it plugs up. And it has a significant difference in cut quality as far as blade speed, but also as far as how much grass it will cut without slowing the mower down. Now, both these mowers do have software inside of them that will speed up the blade when it feels that you're in thicker grass. They both work excellent. It's just a difference in how much power that each motor is able to put out. When looking at the bottom of these two mowers, they both look very similar, but there are some very drastic design differences that allow them to perform differently. Starting out, both blades are very thin, which you'll find on most battery-operated decks, but the EGO has a swoosh in the back to push the grass upward around the deck to help it with mulching or to help it push the grass into the bag. The Ryobi has a slight swoosh in the back or slight push to get it up, but definitely not as drastic. It's a lot more flat, and it probably is one of the contributors to it not being able to fill the bag completely. Now, the plastic decks here are completely different, with the EGO having a dual wall design, where the Ryobi has some reinforcements here, but then as we went over in the video, it's fairly flexible when you get to the side. So we've actually used it to go around trees and had the blade come in contact with the deck. Going further in the build quality, you'll find that the EGO has ball bearings in the tires, where the Ryobi is just a metal shaft with the plastic wheel spinning on it. To go a little bit further on some of the build quality, you can see that there's some wires that are just kind of hanging out loose here on the Ryobi, where EGO puts them inside of a loom. And this loom not only looks better, but it kind of protects the wires more when you fold them up or transport it. When you push these two units, you can definitely tell that the Ryobi unit is a lot lighter. It's fairly easy to maneuver, but the wheels are set out just a touch more than the EGO, and those wheels actually stand out to the full cut width. So if you're used to putting the wheels on top of your wheel marks, on top of the other wheel marks while you're cutting, you're going to actually leave a small strip of grass, where the EGO wheels are set in about 1.5 inches, so you can use those same wheel marks if that's how you mow. How this really turns out as far as quality, it's going to be long-term, and both carry a 5-year warranty. Now, we do have some complaints about both units. First, a plus on the Ryobi side is that their battery does come with a fuel gauge. So you can push a button, there's 5 LED lights there that will tell you exactly how much charge that you have in it. Unfortunately, while it is sitting inside the mower and you're back here mowing, you have no clue how much battery life is left. Now, on the other hand, you have the much larger EGO battery, and it's larger mostly because of its shape. Now, you only have a green or red light when you push this button in, so you really have no idea for fuel amount in the battery. If it's less than 15%, it turns red. If it's greater than 15%, it's green. So when you put this battery away, we always throw ours on the charger to know that this battery is 100% when we pick it up. Otherwise, it can get pretty disappointing fast. Now, inside the mower, it's totally different, because you have a battery fuel indicator that's green or red on the outside. So when you get to a point of low battery, you will have a red light come on the outside of the mower, letting you know, hey, you're close to discharging. Another difference is once the mower stops working because the battery is discharged, the EGO leaves enough power in the battery to allow the self-propulsion unit to still work to get you back to the garage. That definitely is not the case with the Ryobi. So if you're looking at purchasing either one of these two mowers, there is a significant price difference between $399 and $549. But what starts to make that price come closer together is how much runtime you need out of this mower. Just like we said in our review of the Ryobi, we would suggest that you purchase an extra 5.0 amp hour battery to go along with this mower to allow you to cut fully the average size lot. That battery isn't cheap and brings you really close to the price of the EGO, which has the capabilities as you purchase it in a kit for that price to completely cut a full half-acre lot without issue and recharge in less than an hour. So there are some differences in cost, but the reality of the cost of ownership, it's probably pretty close when you want to compare this, the Ryobi to the EGO as far as making them work for the same amount of time. Both of the brands have a lot of extra outdoor power equipment that you can invest in to get different batteries cheaper, or to have a full gamut of outdoor power equipment that's battery operated. Both companies are great to work with. They're both sold at the Home Depot. I think that either way you go, you can't go wrong, but if you have a large lot or a large city lot or anything that's more than kind of a postage stamp size lot, the EGO is probably going to be a better buy for you long term, just because of its runtime and the size batteries that you can get at the current time. So I hope this helps you out. I know this is a tough decision. There's a lot of things to look at. There's a lot of quality differences. There's a price difference, but we want to bring it down to cost of ownership, not cost of purchase. So stop by Workshop Addict. We'll have a blog up on this. Also, make sure you follow us on social media. We have a lot of questions that we answer for you guys out there, and we answer them very quickly. So make sure you look for us on Instagram and Facebook. We do a lot of work there, and also Twitter. Give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.